Good evening, everybody. This is Brian Smith. I'd like to ask you a question today. How can we use qualitative research to collect our data? Today, I read two things. One regarding to Chapter 9 by John Creswell on the qualitative procedures, and Lucy Green's sample, which is informal learning in music. So, based on the two things, I've noticed the connection between Lucy Green's article and the chapter on the qualitative procedures, how Lucy Green gives us the introduction, then she introduces the 7 stages of informal learning with music. So that would probably be the observation based off her observations that she was doing. So then she would then introduce her literature review, which is the national standards, which is in the UK for music. Then after that, she would get into her interviews with different individuals who partook in the study. One thing I learned from this chapter by Creswell on collecting data is that when you collect data, you want to make sure that you're interviewing the participant, and you just want to make sure that the information that you're collecting, the data, is accurate, and you always want to be clear about what your research is and what you're studying or who you're studying. Another thing I learned from that is observing, also interviewing, having documents, which is maybe probably some archived articles or probably some visual media or audio, which is pictures or videos of the interviews or pictures of the students having a great time in the classroom. So there's so much that I learned from that. Another thing I'd like to discuss about would be when you collect the data. Another thing I learned is that when you're doing the qualitative, you always want to ask a lot of questions. For example, is what kind of impact would informal learning have on the students? How would it change the structure of a traditional classroom curriculum? What are the benefits from informal learning in music? And how many ways can it engage students? So those are kind of questions that will come to mind when you're doing that kind of qualitative research, where it's more basically a case study or background theory, which John Creswell mentions in chapter 9. And I think Lucy Green's article is basically a case study because it's her 7 stages are mostly based off the observation she did in the classroom and trying to incorporate informal learning in different ways within those 7 stages. And then it also contains interviews of individuals, as I mentioned earlier, who took place, who participated in the study. So, yeah, I think I learned a lot from Chapter 9 on how to be better in qualitative research and how to collect data and become better at doing that kind of research in my case study while I'm doing with popular music. So thanks for watching and hope you enjoy. Have a great evening.